it's Jeremy.
Thank you very much indeed. Love the saxophones there. BBC Radio 2, The Jeremy Vine Show. And today, the Cranberries join us. Their brilliant singer Dolores O'Riordan died a year ago. They've got a final album out to celebrate her. And we'll play a track for the first time. Remembering Dolores. All right, the very latest from the Cranberries in just a moment. A year ago this week, Dolores O'Riordan, the lead singer of the band The Cranberries, passed away suddenly. Last January, Dolores was found dead in the bathtub of her hotel room in London. The coroner ruled that she'd accidentally drowned after drinking an excessive amount of alcohol. She had previously struggled with depression and anorexia. She was only 46 when she died. For any band to lose their lead singer is an unimaginable loss, especially in such a sudden and upsetting way. But a year on, the remaining members of the Cranberries decided to release previously unheard music featuring Dolores' vocals in order to honour her. So the album is called In the End, and it'll be the band's final release because they are now splitting up. The remaining members of the band are here in the studio with us, and we're going to talk about what it was like to lose Dolores and her immense talent as well. But we've got a world exclusive of their new music, so exclusive to this show, we're very proud now to play All Over Now by the Cranberries.
Remember
Now, that is a new release from the Cranberries, All Over Now. The context is very sad, though. The singer you heard there, Dolores O'Riordan, died a year ago, and very, very young. Other band members here, brothers Hogan, Noel and Mike, Fergal, Lawler, welcome to you.
Thank you.
And I know you were deep in thought while that was going out. Noel, what went through your mind?
It's like we I guess it's almost a year since we finished recording this album and these tracks. We've had a while to live with now. I guess the hardest part for us was a couple of months after Dolores had passed, and then you go back and you start going through the demos, and the work that had been done in the previous months, and it was hard that first time to listen to Dolores, coming through the speakers like that. I found that you could only take X amount of time a day to listen to it and take a break from it then, because you do tend to, I guess you look back a lot of the early days, of what we did and the adventure we've had together. But I do think now I feel like this album is more of a celebration of this band and Dolores and the kind of legacy that we will leave behind.
Sure. And at your height, you were, undoubtedly one of the biggest bands in the world. So you've been on the full rock and roll roller coaster together, and wonderfully, your three of you were there at the start with Dolores, right? So, Mike, your memories of her at the very start?
She was really shy at the start. As was we all were really when we started out. It was something new to us, to all of us. But I think as time went on, we did quite a lot of touring at the start as well, and as time went on, we just got more confidence playing live and writing music. So it was.
Fergal, what about you?
Yeah, it's funny. After she passed away, those are all the memories that came back, the early memories, and just the fun. She could be really good fun and like to crack a joke and be lighthearted, and those are all the memories that I have.
Did you have the impression that she was troubled? Did a lot of that come out when you were together?
No, like over the years, we probably collectively spent more time together than we have with our own families.
Yeah.
Because you're not only working together, when you're on tour, you're living together, and you get to know people so well. Their good points, their bad points, and you know everything about them, and especially like the troubles Dolores has had, and Dolores never made a secret of that. She was kind of very upfront about things going on in her life. So there were times when you would worry a lot about her. But the kind of weird thing, I guess, for us is that, particularly the last couple of years, she was in really, really good spirits.
Right.
Things were really had turned around, and she seemed to be kind of heading the other direction, away from all of that. And especially, the months of writing this album that were kind of on and off, it was like she was sending these ideas all the time, and you were thinking, this is fantastic. She's got so much to say right now.
And when you last saw her, was in a hotel in Limerick.
That's right.
I've read about it. It was an absolute routine.
It was just
thing involving an interview.
Yeah, it was like November of, I think, 2017. We did an interview together for a Chinese thing, and all good, chatting away. How's the family? Blah blah. All the things that people talk about. And she went on her way. Went home. Was going back to New York for Christmas. And then the next plan was that in the new year we would start actually recording this album properly. And I think I'd been speaking to her on text and emails right up until a day before she passed away.
Yeah. In terms of the songs and playing them, are you able to play them live, Mike, with someone else singing them, or is that not? That wouldn't be appropriate.
I don't think
wouldn't feel right.
It wouldn't feel right. She has an unmistakable voice. So it's hard to replace that. So we would never do that.
Such an Irish voice. When I hear her sing, I hear it's rather like the Proclaimers. You hear the Scottish accent. I hear her Irishness in it. And also the emotions she wrote with. She was such an emotional writer and singer.
She always wrote about things that would, like, everyday things that would happen in her life and experiences she had been through. So it was always honest type of songwriting.
She wasn't shy, to run away from subject. If she felt strong enough about something, she sang about it.
What was it like in the very early days, Fergal, when you started to break through? Because the song Linger was just global.
Yeah.
And that album, I know it almost tanked the first time, then it sort of came out again, didn't it? And
Yeah, we had been touring a little bit, and then we released the album over here. And I think what happened was it had been released to the press 6 months earlier. So by the time it actually came out, it was kind of old news to them. So it was kind of like, oh yeah. And then we went over to the States because the college radio were playing it there. So it kind of got another round here after it took off in the States. It came back over here and was re-released, and it took off over here then again. So it was a big adventure for us because we were late teens, early 20s. And it was just like, oh, that's great. We have to go and do this TV show or that TV show or this radio show. And it was like, no big deal because it was all new to us, and we were excited.
Well, that's proper pop stardom as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because that song, well, and the album, some fantastic tracks on the album, is just it was one of the great pop albums. But I wonder whether that pressure on Dolores was difficult for her.
I think as time went by, it definitely, like we began this as like, as Ferg said there, we were like kids starting out, and you start a band and you hope you do well. And this took off far, far bigger than any of us had ever thought it would. And then as time went by, there was an awful lot of pressure on Dolores in particular, being the front person. You're pushed out there. You're the one that can't go to certain places because you're going to be hounded by press or, photographers.
Yeah.
We tended to kind of just go back home to Limerick and disappear back into our kind of normal lives.
Did you like that in a way?
It was great. You were getting the best of both worlds, you see.
Yeah.
But Dolores didn't have that luxury.
She couldn't go back to Limerick and just go down the pub?
Yeah, little bit by bit, it became more of a hassle each time.
Yeah. I read her obituary, and I just printed it out today, and it clearly they picked up on that, because they said the rapid ascent of the Cranberries, this is the Guardian, exacerbated what they called Rawdon's terrible self-loathing, generated anorexia and a breakdown, and then a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. So you sort of hope that she got onto an even keel through the right kind of treatment and all that.
And I think, as as she was very good to recognise when there was a problem with herself. There was not this denial of, I'm fine, everything's grand. She knew, and she kind of went about helping herself that way then. And her family were great with her, especially her mother, and her brothers were fantastic with her. So it felt good to know that she had that kind of backup.
Yeah. So you're three musicians, and all right, the Cranberries have come to an end with this album, which is a wonderful way of honouring Dolores. But what do you do next with your lives? It might not even be music. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah,
or do you stop for a year?
I think like the next, for the foreseeable future, it's the album that this song is from. We kind of concentrating on that for the next while. And then, I guess it's not something we've discussed at all about what each one of us is doing. I suppose we all have our own ideas of what it will be.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, like as Noel was saying there, we're kind of going to be busy with promotion for this for the next half a year or something like that, I suppose. Yeah, till the release date. So see what happens after that. Yeah, it's hard to know.
Go on, Fergal. You're going to tell us you're going to be a painter or something.
Say
something to be a trapeze artist.
I try and live in the moment.
It's a perfect opportunity to blow our minds here. I'm sorry, the context is just so sad. There's no way of getting away from it. She's an amazing artist. She was one of the most famous people that Ireland's produced in the last since the war. And the music has made so many people so happy. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And just to reiterate, we just played All Over Now, which is do we call it the new single? Do we still say that?
Yeah. Well, we're old school. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, good. Okay, I like that. We had the world exclusive. As soon as we fired it here, apparently they played it all over Ireland as well.
That's right. They were all sitting there waiting to press play.
Oh gosh. But bless her, Dolores O'Riordan is singing on it because she recorded before she passed away a year ago. So thank you again to the brilliant Cranberries. Thanks for coming in. Cheers. Great to see you.
If I were a boy